Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. And the reason for today's assembly is I want to award each and every one of you a service bar for your dutiful service and sacrifice during the COVID pandemic of 2020, as well as a distinguished service cross for your continuous, selfless efforts towards the protection of the community and the protection of each other and the maintenance of order and enforcement of the law, and doing it as best you can. This has been very difficult times for everybody. June 20th signified the 100th day of the governor's declaration of the state of emergency associated with the COVID pandemic, and I thought under those circumstances it was completely appropriate to award each and every one of you for your efforts during that pandemic. I think sometimes it is lost on all of us how significant this event is, both to us personally, professionally, and historically. And years from now, people will look back and they will ask questions about what it was like during this period of time in U.S. history and what it was like to work under these kind of conditions. You've had to adapt, you've had to use different tools, different techniques, you've had to put yourself at greater risk than you're placed on a daily basis as police officers, which is a high risk anyway. And you've done it all to serve the community. And I know as your chief, that means a lot to me. So first I want to start with a reading of the letter declaration of award. You can take some pictures. To all Jackson Police Department personnel, regarding Distinguished Service Award during the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas New Hampshire Governor Christopher T. Sununu declared a state of emergency on March 13th, 2020 due to the global pandemic associated with the COVID-19. And whereas the COVID-19 pandemic placed the world and community at risk of loss of life and health due to widespread infection. And whereas the risk to first responders was even more so due to the unique nature of our responsibilities and the increased role we had to play in social order and the protection of life and property. And whereas the members of the Jackson Police Department maintained a level of readiness and service to residents and visitors without hesitation and in keeping with the finest ideals of law enforcement. And whereas the members of the Jackson Police Department made personal and professional sacrifices to safely provide for the care and protection of those in need at risk to their own safety and health. And whereas June 20th, 2020 marks the 100th day of the state of emergency in New Hampshire, under which all civilian and sworn personnel of the Jackson Police Department have worked, performing their duties to the highest level possible. And therefore, I, Chief Christopher C. Purley, award the Distinguished Service Cross and COVID-19 Service Bar to all sworn and civilian members of the Jackson Police Department that have served during the first 100 days of the great pandemic of 2020. I further authorize the wearing of the COVID-19 Service Bar on the regular duty uniform effective this date. And that's in appreciation, my appreciation for all that you've done in these very difficult times. So, thank you, and thank you. What I'd like to do now is I'll call you up one at a time. I'm going to issue you a service bar. I'll pin you with your service bar. I'll give you a letter of recognition and the Distinguished Service Cross to honor your service. So I'll start with Julie Hoyt. Come on up. Okay, Staff Sergeant Boothby.
letter. Thank you, sir.
Okay. PFC McDonald.
You're running out of room there. You're running out of room. Let's hope it's the last 10 minutes service couldn't be done.
Take your time.
Yeah, what's the key one?
Thank you, sir.
You earned it. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Congratulations.
Off the board.
Really racking up the wins.
Won't be so
Pretty
much.
fast.
Hopefully not.
It's a little early for that.
Yeah. 2 months in.
2 months in, you're peaking. I watched Super Bad the other night with my 16-year-old daughter. I hope you're not hanging on to like those guys in that movie.
I've seen it, yeah.
16.
I hope so. Sir? Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Well done, Mike.
Officer Sherry. Okay. Well, like I said, it's none of this works without your efforts, and none of it works without your commitment. And the town is in great hands, and I know we're going to continue to meet the call in these conditions, and God forbid anything worse. But it's an honor to serve with you and to lead you, and it's my honor also to recognize you for a job well done. Congratulations, gentlemen. All right, dismissed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hopefully,